2026. And it's Whacky Wednesday, episode number 268. And it's day number 387 wearing the incredible X39, which is this. And the countdown is on to my 50th birthday. 136 days are left. And today's subject I want to talk about, this warms my heart. And you will see why. And then I will follow up with the 10-minute HIIT along with leg day exercises. So, what warms my heart? And I will show you. It's this video here that I see. This is Bubba. Bubba. His nickname is Bubba. And his father is trying to give him a better life. And when I see this this effort, it warms my heart. And it should for you as well, because there shouldn't be limitations. We should always try to give our kids the best. And when I see the periodic videos that come up from Bubba's dad, you can see he's spending a tremendous amount of time with his son, sacrificing a lot to help him be to heal and to just become a good man. And in this particular video, I asked the question, how it looks like the Bubba is growing, and this is a good sign, largely from when I think about it from a mitochondrial perspective, because that means the body is able to heal itself. And I'm not sure what Bubba's dad is doing or what they're choosing to do for Bubba. But if I was his father, I'd be looking at the patch technology as a way to enhance the body's ability to heal itself, or to regrow, or to overcome the defects that he's born with. I believe he's born with it. So how do I say this? Does a choice like the patch solve all problems? No, it doesn't. But can it help? Yeah, I think so. And it's worth trying, because you never really want to give up, essentially. And if I was Chase, is his name, Bubba's dad, I would be exploring it. And also exploring the properties of deuterium free, or deuterium depleted water with a molecular bond angle of 114 degrees, because the water itself is known to be very pure. It does not have any radioactivity in it because of the process in which it goes through to become this. And when you think about radioactivity in water, Can it actually exist? And the answer is yes. Yes. And if you are replenishing with, when I say replenishing, drinking water with radioactivity in it, do you think it might have an influence on how your cells respond to it? Just think about that for a moment. And so does it raise the importance about replenishing with what I call the cleanest and most absorbable? It's really simple in in its uh, its form, but can it have really pronounced effects on your body's ability to reset and regenerate? I ask this simple question, and I think the simple answer is yes. It would be silly for us not to think that it does. And you don't have to be a scientist to drill down, because you could see it. You could see the changes in somebody. You can, and if you see those changes, that'll tell you that it's working if they're positive. Would it not? You don't need to have a medical degree to know that. This is why I'm how would you say, what's the right word I'm looking for? Not frustrated, but um, I'm concerned with a lot of people when they're trying to promote something for the purpose of making money as opposed to for the purpose of actually helping somebody. There there are there are big differences between the two. And is it wrong for me to say that I think this can help? It's not wrong. And you don't know until you try. It's as simple as that. And this goes for all kinds of conditions, not just what I just showed with Bubba, but I think about even Parkinson's disease, how more and more people are experiencing the disease. So how did they get the disease? How? Is it because of radioactivity in the water? Water that's got fluoride and all this bad stuff? Like, I'm just asking the question because it doesn't happen like an accident. You're in a car accident and you get your arm severed off or something like that. That's an instant. But these conditions that are long lasting, like Parkinson's, for example, that's an accumulation of something. So which one is it? It's not it's not instant. It's accumulation. And when the body is constantly being attacked, it gets tired of compensating. Just much the same how you get tired during exercise. And when you get tired during exercise, then you're going to start compensating. And it happens in an instant. Before you even know it occurs. Especially, let's say if your arms are tired, right? And you're doing bicep curls like this. And as soon as your arms get tired, your elbows start moving outward, trying to compensate, and it happens naturally without you even really thinking about it, because it's the body's natural response to deal with discomfort. Now, what about at the cellular level? Does the same thing happen? It does. You might feel it, but you'll feel it really in the long run. So, what do you do to protect yourself? How can you offset it? Well, I I keep saying, like a broken record, replenish your body with what is foundational. And drinking water, the cleanest and most absorbable version of it, is crucial for that process because it dominoes into other things. Not just one, multiple things. So would this not be considered the most important? I asked the question, is it the most important? Because when the body is a master at compensating for things, that is when things are on autopilot. And when the body is on autopilot, it's going to do everything it can to protect itself. Absolutely everything. And it starts with protecting the organs. And if your body is going to be confused when it's trying to rebuild and regenerate organs, if you put something that mimics what true water looks like or what feels like, is it going to be confused? Could it be confused? I think the answer is yes, because when you look at people with dementia and Alzheimer's, they usually have a strong accumulation of aluminum in the body. Now, where's the aluminum coming from? Are these people eating fish every day? No. Are they getting, you know, vaccinations every year? Could that be an accumulation? It's possible. I don't know. Could there be aluminum in the water? You don't see it, but could it be there? It's possible. Could there be aluminum in other food sources? Yeah. So what causes the aluminum to stick inside the body? Oh, gee. Well, if you know a few things about chemistry, I'm sure you could figure it out. But how many of us are interested in that kind of stuff? Not many. I wasn't when I was young. But am I interested now as an older adult? To a degree. Do I know all the nuances of chemistry? No, I don't. I just look at what I think makes sense and try to use good discernment. Because good health should not be complicated, but making good choices can be complicated. So it's wise to listen to those who are expressing themselves in a good way that are also supporting what they're saying with something that is tangible. Now, am I trying to do that? Yes. Am I trying to give you other examples that I see from around the world? Yes. And I'm also careful with what I share as well, because I think that there's a lot of fake stuff out there. So you got to be aware of that as well. So I'm careful. And I do my homework to make sure that if I'm going to share something with you, it's going to fall in line with what I'm trying to say, and most importantly, to help you. And that stems from anything. That includes, stuff that's trendy, because I think it's important to know. Now, when I talk about the benefits, as you see on the screen there, something that I regurgitate. So yesterday I talked about, what was the title? Do you cheat? And I don't like to cheat, nor should you. And cheating also means eating the right stuff. So make good choices because they're necessary for your body to create the all-important peptides naturally. And people say, oh yeah, I need to have peptides so I can have smoother skin and, stronger muscle and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, then you're bypassing your digestive system, in which is not good. So fix the root cause that's stopping your body from synthesizing these peptides, because it correlates back to Bubba, who I talked about earlier in this episode, where if he's growing, his body is synthesizing peptides. So does he need to be injecting his body with them? Nope. No. Can he help his body overcome, let's say, mitochondrial deficiencies? Yeah. So I know that he lives in somewhere in the southern United States, whether it's Texas or Florida, along the Gulf of America. And so is he getting adequate light? Sunlight? I think so. Yeah. And is he getting adequate water? That's the question mark, because you have to make it yourself. There's no other way around it. So you either buy the machine, which I talk about at unlockyourBioenergy.godaddysites.com. You can find the information there. I do not make a penny telling you about this, not one. And I'm not bothered by it. I'm not hurt by it or any means, because what's good for you, what's good for me, can be good for you as well. So when you visit the website, you'll find the buttons as you see on the screen there at the bottom of the web page, and then you can navigate there accordingly. Elon, always making noise. So for today's workout, I'm going to do the 10-minute HIIT, which will consist of skipping at, I will put a tempo of, I think 180 today. I'll do that again today. You see tempo of 160 or 60 beats per minute right now. And after the 10-minute HIIT, I will be switching over to the leg day exercises. So here you see my heart rate monitor. Just switching the screen there. I'm going to turn the speaker on. All right. There we go. Place this here. That's how it sounds. Of course, it's got to reset that. So I will set the tempo at 180 beats per minute. So when the ten-minute HIIT, when the screen turns from yellow to red to green, green will be at the high tempo, which will be at the tempo you hear tick, 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 tick. So skipping at that tempo. All right. And then when the screen is red, is when it will just be a relaxed pace. So whatever pace you feel comfortable. So whatever that is for you, that's the pace. So in 5 seconds, we match the metronome. All right. 180 is that's a pretty brisk pace. I can really feel it. Okay, my body hasn't warmed up yet. Even after 30 seconds, it's quite. All right. Ah, 30 seconds doesn't feel like very long, but not long enough when you want to recover. And I find I can feel the sternum fibers that I worked on yesterday. Ay, ay, ay. Really? Ah. There we go. That's my heart rate. Feels good. Obviously, skipping at that pace of 180 beats per minute, which is equivalent to, let's have a look quickly here. No. 3 revolutions per second. That is the tempo. So, So for today's exercises, I have, I just realized I'm gonna just set myself up here. I'm gonna undo my shoes and attach ankle straps above my shoes, largely because the first exercise is going to involve doing squats with TKEs. So T is in Tom, K is in ketchup, and E is in Edward. So these, the first exercise will involve attaching the bands to the ankle straps that are going to be just beneath my knees or at my knee joint when I'm going to squat. And so the bands are going to pull the knees forward, and then when I squat and make a complete standing position, that's when the bands will be tugging on the knees, and by pressing them forward like this, it gets to, it's actually called a closed chain exercise. So the bands will be attached like this here, and then I will be using the vibration plate along with orange bands and these straps here, which will go on my feet like this, and I will attach the orange bands to it so that way they don't slide off. And doing it this way just changes the angle a little bit compared to what I did last week with the step or the 2x4. So that's the change for today. And with the hang, I'm going to start at 4, 3, 2, 1. That's good. Readjust it. Oh, slipping. Oh gosh. That's it. That foam is around this bar. It turns, so it really forces me to get a good grip at the very beginning, and I didn't quite achieve that. So that is what happened. I'm not going to sweat over it. So the first exercise, take the vibration plate. I'm going to kind of see how far I have to position it here, because I want the band. So you can see here, this is the blue Body Elastics band that I'm using. So about here, just gonna there we go. All right, so now I'm going to take the orange bands and the door stops, or the door anchors. Put one, I've got two of them here, so one on each band. And basically, hopefully there's, oh yeah. So taking them and attaching the other ankle straps to the dual end. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, all right. So I can feel the blue bands are pulling on the knees now, right, which is what I want. And just position them a little bit higher so it's right on the knee. And with the ankle straps, it's nice and comfortable. Then I'm going to take the other ankle strap and put it around my foot. So I'm doing it this way. I put the Velcro side down. So meaning that I turn it on the side and it has the ring on the side of the shoe like this, so you can see. And then basically I'm going to take the bands like this, and with the door anchors, and put them over my shoulders. So I'm going to hold it like this and wrap them like this. And so with the bands on my shoulder, there we go. You hold it with your hands. And because of, so there's tension right here at the bottom. And with the closed chain aspect of this here, the bands get, oh, my heart rate monitor is blocked. So I'm going to just switch it here. There we go. Because of the way it was positioned on my hands. So here I'm using, the orange bands equate to 120 pounds worth of resistance over and above my body weight with the vibration. So by doing it slowly here, putting a lot of tension on in the squat position. So here, holding it down, can go a little bit narrower. And you can load this up too. Like if you can tolerate, 100 and whatever extra more pounds, put the bands on, have at her. Alright, so that is squat TKEs. Wow. Okay, next one is going to be stretched quad extension, so this is where I'm going to focus. Okay, I just realized I'm going to take these orange bands off these other ankle straps and switch. And the reason being is because the position in which these ones are anchored, I'm going to use them for the quads. But as part of this exercise, I'm also going to take this and it's about that distance, I think. Turn this around. Yeah, about there, I think. Give or take. I'm just going to change the position of this guy. Now, I think that's what I want for distance. Let's see. Now, with this exercise here, I'm going to lay on my stomach like this, and then grab these guys here, put them on my feet, like as you see. So it's like I'm doing a quad extension. Now, moving away from the wall, I have tension on the quads here. So, working the quads at the stretched position. Oh wow. So by lifting my glutes or my hips off the ground, I put a little bit more tension on my, or more weight on my knees. Then it stays on the vibration plate.
Wow. It certainly makes it feel really a lot different. So, that's working the quads. All right, next up is hamstring curls. So that's where I will take these straps here and switch to these guys. But in doing so, I'm also going to lower the angle of this here by placing it on the bottom. And then attaching it to this side. So you see there. And then I'm going to do the same with the other side. And then attach to the feet, to the straps that I had for the TKEs. All right. Just a little bit more forward. Okay. Slightly more. There we go. Now, so here I'm going to focus on the curl part of, so like I'm doing a bicep curl, but for the legs. And when you point your toes up to the ceiling, it changes the feel in which the muscle works. Surprisingly, I wouldn't think that it does, but it feels different. All right. Oh, wow. So holding it, I'm trying to hold it isometrically under tension and moving negatively slowly. So working the negative as well. So what this does is allows you to control the tension within that range of movement. So forcing the muscle to activate in that particular range where the arm is or the leg is. So this is why I like training this way. It really does work. And if you use lighter weights or lighter resistance, lighter cables, if you have a cable machine, combine it with the vibration plate, and you have a really good alternative. Your weight's going to stay the same through the range of movement as long as you maintain the angles. And it's when you're training the muscle, angles are very important, so you cannot forget that. Oh my. Oh, I'm trying explosives. Oh, even on the explosives, I only have so much strength to where I can't contract it all the way. I get to a certain point and it just stops. So that goes to tell me that I reached fatigue when I lose the range of movement. So that's good. So that means I've fatigued the muscle, created the micro tears, and the rebuilding process starts. Next up is ball bridges. So that's where I'm going to take the vibration plate, turn it this way, and then I will take the exercise ball, and in addition I will use I'll take 30 pounds worth of resistance. So I've got power blocks. So here is you can see the green color, and the weights are inside the little circular weights. So total of 30 pounds. And I'm going to place my butt just where my glutes, hamstrings, glutes, just touching the vibration plate. And you will lay down like this. And then using the remote, I'm going to turn it on, grab the plate or the weight, and thrust. So this gets the glutes, and then you can curl as well, down, and thrust up, upwards, curl, so this gets a large portion of the posterior chain. So it involves the lower back as well, and the glutes get involved, the hamstrings as well. So this is more of a complex exercise, and then having the weight also is part of the hold. So it strengthens the glutes. Hold it isometrically, curl, down. Butt is touching the ground. Lift it off the ground now. Curl again. I can start to feel the hamstrings are starting to scream. And the glutes are saying, ah yes, I'm getting you involved. So by doing this for 3 minutes, it's really targeting the muscle, or all the muscle groups involved in this posterior chain exercise. And I really like this because of the bang for your buck. It really is so simple, but it's so effective. And having the elevation from the exercise ball just adds another element of difficulty. So if that's something that you seek, this is a variation for you. And I'm trying very hard not to hold the weight with my fingers, so I'm just trying to keep it in the place. Oh, when is this over? Oh, there we go. One more rep for good measure. So when you have the vibration as part of the, oh wow, my body's cracking, as part of the movements, it really adds a really dynamic variability to the movement. Alright, so next is tibialis. And with the bands that are already anchored there, I'm going to use them. Yes, okay. I'll just reattach these other ankle straps. They're getting moved around a lot today, which is okay. Now, the ankle strap's going to go on my top end of my foot. So, and by pulling away from the wall, I don't want that to happen. That's the only downfall to this variation, is these things will fall off. So you kind of have to be aware of that. And if you point your toes, you want to lift your ankles off higher away from the ground, so that way the strap stays on. And you'll see what I mean if you try this. So here we are. So the ankle straps that I had for the TKE are what's tingling on the ground. So just there we go. So working the tibialis here. And this muscle for me is quite strong, largely because of the skipping I do. So if you find that this hurts, then reduce the weight, so that way you can really focus on the tibialis. But also through the range, you want to move your toes this way and forward nice and slowly. So here I'm lifting my ankles higher off the ground so the straps don't fall off, and then slowly pulling it towards my knees. My toes are so here I'm focusing at the very top, holding it isometrically. Now I'm starting to put my feet down like this. Now coming back. So that's what I'm doing. Going as far forward as I can, as if I'm standing on my heels, lifting my toes off the ground, and letting the bands pull them in the other direction. Holding it this way. Fell off really easily, and as will this one here. Alright, last but not least is the calf raises. So that's where I'm going to take yes, I'm going to try it with the orange bands today. So the ones that I used already, they're kind of pre-configured here already. So we'll take the ankle straps from the tibialis exercise. And this is a variation that I've done in the past, and I'm just revisiting this, largely because there's different ways you can do this. I have my jig here, where I have a 2x4, and there's some pieces of small plywood here to separate and to create gaps. So you can use this here as a form of anchoring, if you wish. So you can go like this here and then anchor it, or you can put it directly, use it the other way here by taking the ankle strap and attaching it around your foot and then just holding it this way here on your shoulder. And this is the method that I'm going to use today, largely because I want to be able to change the position of where I'm going to press from. So whether I'm more narrow or more wide. So it's going to work a different part of the leg, of the muscle. And so, because if you're out in the field and playing different sports, you're going to have a wide foot and you're going to have a narrow foot, or a narrow stance and a wide stance, right? So you want your calf muscles to be able to explode out of those areas. So what I'm going to do, grab this here like this. So essentially now, see, I have the 2x4, and now I'm going to do the calf raises. One thing I don't like is how it's slippery, especially on the bottom of the shoe where it's anchored, but that's okay. I'll change it some more. So the ankle straps are more around the arch of my foot, in the middle of my shoe, so I can get, I'm not sliding so much on the 2x4, because the ankle straps do slide, like the material is kind of slippery. So doing it this way adds the extra weight. And it is kind of unbalanced, so which is nice. You know, I have to really balance through the movement. Oh yeah. Can go slightly wider. So the amplitude is a little bit greater. Oh yeah. so that was 120 pounds of extra weight with the vibration today. So let's have a look at heart rate. I can feel the calf muscles. They are reminding me of the effort that I just put them through. So today's date stamp, May 6th, 2026. Starting time was at 3:21 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Maximum heart rate I hit today was 169. So just under my calculated maximum heart rate. So 220 less my age, 49, is 171. And it's not my maximum, not my highest that I can hit. So see here, yes, 169. So that was pretty early on, actually. And moments there where I had those two peaks here. So there's one here where it peaks, and then a strong recovery here. So that was 2 minutes. And then here is when I was doing the dead man hang. So, and then here is when my heart rate monitor disconnected, and that's when I noticed it. So I corrected that by changing the position of the armband to the outside. So, and then heart rate stayed pretty modest, or pretty low actually for the duration, around the 100 mark. So it goes to show that even with resistance training, my heart rate stays relatively relaxed and calm, which is good. And when I am in the midst of doing some strong cardiovascular activity, then it depends on how fast I am breathing, and the rate in which I'm breathing will dictate how much my heart rate goes. So when it gets into the higher echelons of 200 plus, then my breathing rate is really relaxed and calm, or slow, should I say. And because of that, my heart is cycling the oxygen very fast. And largely because of the slow breathing rates, it's affecting that. So as soon as I start breathing faster again, then it drops right back down. So it's a way for me to exercise the heart itself, and I know that it's doing the job, and I can push the muscle. I can push it. I'm not afraid to train it that way. So when it comes to really needing oxygen delivery, it's delivering when I really need it. So when I'm pushing, today's tempo 180, I could go more. I could technically. Once I kind of got into the realm of just having some blood circulation, because I did it fresh, starting hard almost within 30 seconds, 30 seconds cold, and then ramping up the intensity right away. So normally when I hit the echelon of 200, I would do 6.5 minutes of just a relaxed pace, and then 2.5 minutes worth of all-out burst. So, and that's when I would hit the 200 plus range for maximum heart rate. And it's been a while since I've done that, because I've kind of just changed from that structure of a warm-up to the 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And it's reflective in my heart rate, because my body's able to just kind of recover. But it shows, what I'm also seeing is the sawtooth, essentially, what's happening. So, I'm having the bursts of intensity, and then it recovers, and then there's another burst of intensity. So I call that a sawtooth type of heart rate reaction. So,
when I'm seeing that here. So it's this, what I'm talking about, the sawtooth, right? Like that's what I call a sawtooth. And seeing that happen is good because it's also supporting my thoughts in regards to how good my VO2 actually is. And when I'm drinking deuterium depleted water with the hydrogen molecular bond angle of 114 degrees, am I seeing that in the heart rates? Sawtooth going like that? You bet. And there's nothing you can tell me to convince me otherwise that this water is not doing anything. And when I started adding the X39, then my ability to recover is faster. So I come back the next day, even though I put my body through the time under tension each day that I do it. So yesterday I did push exercises. So that was the triceps and the chest. So today when I was doing the crisscrosses with the jump rope, I could feel the sternum fibers. They were acting up because that is the same kind of movements that I was doing, especially during the flies yesterday. So did I get reminded of the effort I put in yesterday? Yep, I did, because I could feel it. So will I be reminded tomorrow when I do the jump rope to begin with? Oh yeah, I usually do. I could feel the glutes and the hamstrings, and if I did like Mike Tyson type of skipping where he goes down to the knees, I'm sure I would feel it that way too. Today I really tried to push the quads so that way I get a response. And with the stretched quad extensions, I think I achieved that today. So a few takeaways for me is to make sure I lift my hips off the ground to put more weight on my knees, so that way the vibration carries forward and I force the quads to do the work from the stretched position. So, when I view certain things online, there's one thing that comes to mind is when you are sitting down, can you get up off the ground? Here, so I'm gonna sit down. I can get up this way, right? What about this way? Can you get up off the ground without having to use your hands? It's a sign of longevity, right? I can do that relatively easy. I have no issues. So, does the training that I do each week assist with that? And the answer is yes. So, it may look like it's easy and simple, but it is, but also safe, which is most important. And when you're by yourself, you want to be able to do something that's safe but also effective. So that's the key. And that's why I like vibration plate training, because you don't need to have tremendous amounts of weight to do it. And especially doing the squats on the vibration plate, when you add that tension and you move the muscle through its range of movement, and you get that discomfort in the muscle while the resistance is there and the weight, then guess what? It's going to respond. And that's why I keep seeing muscle. So, can you work on keeping your muscle? Of course you can. Now, do you need to have, 140 grams of protein per day? I'm saying no. I don't eat that much per day. I haven't in the past year. Because, to be honest, I can't afford it. I can't. And so, when it comes to making sure you get the 1.0 on the PDCAA scale, so getting all the amino acids, eggs are your friend. They're the cheapest form of protein. And the cholesterol, I'm not bothered by it one bit. Not one bit. And I eat the whole egg. I pressure cook eggs every day. So, and I made sure I have the pinch of salt, which I did before coming down today. And I always top it off with the cleanest and most absorbable water. So, and when you combine it with the X39, which is that tap on the shoulder, and then you combine it with the X49, which is the other tap on the shoulder, says, hey, Gordon, make sure you don't forget to create the AHK and the GHK copper peptides. And then guess what? I experience faster recovery because of it, after all the time under tension that I put myself through. So does it work? You bet it does. And it's time for you to start if you are watching. I'm here to help guide you and keep you motivated to stay on track. Because if I can do it, you can do it too. And it doesn't take a tremendous amount of time. I'm at 118, 1 hour and 18 minutes. So that's including what I spiel about at the beginning of the episode. But as you can tell, I spend no more than about 45 minutes each single day. So if I'm focused, I can speed that up and reduce the amount of time. But if you're watching, you can watch the episode the day before and then plan it out in your mind and then perform the exercises. And all I ask is for your support. So scan the QR code or click on the links in the comments and support me. I'd appreciate that. And if you're interested in becoming a brand partner as a distributor with LifeWave, then let me know and we'll work together. And there are some benefits to that. Not only the health ones, but there's trips involved too if you put in the effort. So I'm trying to put in the effort and I'm trying to get there. So I need your help too. Share and support. It'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll help you stay motivated. So that's it for today. Tomorrow is Thirsty Thursday. So we'll see you then. Bye.